Rob, big game here at the weekend, and a side that probably you know a little bit more about from being that neck of the woods. But Newcastle, what do you make of them and the emergence they've really made this season?
I think it's been building. I mean, they've been together quite a long time, really. They've got a settled coaching team and a settled core of the squad, and as you know, as we've seen here, that makes a big difference. The other thing I'd say is they've probably stuck at what they do over the last couple of years as well. They've decided to play the game the way they play it, and they've stuck at it. And I think even when you get knocked back, you know, you don't get results. If you can do that, then that makes a big difference, because over time, as you start to get your game together and people feel more comfortable, as we're seeing with them now, they're starting to score a lot of tries, they're pushing offloads, and probably the most important thing is they're enjoying it. When you see them make an error on the pitch, they're not all hand-wringing and having a go at each other. There's a bit of smiles and a bit of laughs and a bit of, ooh, we almost got through there, but it went on the floor. And that's a key thing, because their attitude towards risk is clearly pretty good, that they're prepared to play and have confidence in how they do it and enjoy doing it and not get too hung up on whether they make an error or not. Obviously,
looking at last week in particular, the growing word I would say is frustration from last week. You came in after that, you did so much in the game.
Yeah, we were. I think, you know, fair play to Tigers. They stopped us in a few areas that that stopped us scoring, and we turned over the ball and made a few errors close in. But we were right in that game. We were pretty good. Our basics were pretty good. Our effort and energy we put into the game was pretty good. And again, it's one of those, you can't get too locked into the highs and lows of the season. It's not, you're not brilliant because we beat Wasps the week before, and we're not terrible because we lost to Tigers away. You've got to be a little bit more consistent in mood than that. We're pretty confident we're playing well, and pretty confident in doing the right things, and sometimes you'll lose games and sometimes you'll win. Obviously
this is the last fixture of this opening block, but when you reflect on it, you've seen lots of positives in it. Even the two games, I know Rob's talked about it, you're not a million miles away, are you?
No, I think that's a key thing. I think last year when we lost games at the start, we knew we weren't quite on it, whereas this year we're pretty sure that we're pretty comfortable that we're doing the right things, and as I say, as long as you're getting that effort and that energy into our performance, and there's not too much to complain about, I think we won't be too far off. If we keep playing like that, we won't be too far off at the end of the season. The success of any side comes down to home form quite often, and we've had a conversation many times how important it is here. But 2 weeks ago here against Wasps, did that set a benchmark of what you want to be trying to play like here at Sandy Park? Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, gosh, it was a good performance, and I think that's an interesting question. Is it a benchmark? I think what it is, in the sense that we should have that intensity and that energy about us all the time. It shouldn't just be because we were playing Wasps. It should be whoever we're playing, that intensity and energy should be there. I'm not saying that's particularly easy all the time, but certainly having a top four side and a side that's going really well like Falcons coming here this weekend does add a little bit of spice to it, to be honest. It makes it exciting, and that's what we like. The lads like playing in big games. And sometimes it's just making sure that that every game here is a big game. You talked about the Falcons in attack, but defensively they're equally strong. You look at the Opta stats of some of the guys of Wilson, Green and Welsh, their tackle stats are right up there. Yes, yeah, they are. They're complete, and they've got some tough boys, and as you rightly pointed out, the forwards in amongst them, they've got some guys with a real high work rate. Like a lot of these things, we are a little bit into the season now. We're 5 games in. They're not there by accident. The league isn't an accidental league. You get the odd result, but actually they're up there because they've played well, they've defended well, they've stuck at what they do really, really well, and they're enjoying doing it, and they're a massive threat to us this weekend. Big weekend potentially for 2 of our lads, in Jack Yendall set to start his 100th league game, and Ben Moon hopefully getting another milestone himself in 150 appearances. But you've worked very, very closely with those guys. Just tell us a little bit about what they bring to this club. Well, I think for me, with those guys, consistency is one of the big things. It takes a lot of consistency to get picked that many times. You do get guys who come and go, and it's not just on field, it's off field, and those are 2 guys who I'd say that their off field preparation is outstanding. The amount of time and effort they go to make sure that come a weekend that they're right on it to play. They don't just rock up and play. They work extremely, really hard, and I think that be for both of those guys would be the thing that sticks with me. It's not just that they're professional, but they care about what they do, and as well they care about how they're perceived and what the rest of the players think, and they set great standards. Perfect.